Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. As you can tell from the title, what we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to be sharing with you the herbs that I use to restore my kidneys and to get my kidneys back functioning. So before we dive into the herbs that I use, I'm going to first give you a little background to understand why the kidneys wasn't functioning and why it wasn't working. So starting with my right kidney, I started having complications with it in middle school. Then finally, I was going back and forth to the specialist for years. Then finally in 9th grade, the doctor performed the surgery on the right kidney. Then we're going to fast forward 10 years later. I get into a bad car accident. Someone ran the light, caused my car to flip. We had to be cut out the car. It was really bad. I had a lot of internal damage. Went to the white light. That's when I realized the white light is a real thing. You always hear about it, but if you don't experience, sometimes you don't know if it's true or not. It's definitely true. I went to the white light because of the damage, because of the car accident. And so when I get to the hospital, I was unconscious for a long time. When I finally came to, I had a lot of pain internally. The doctor explained that he couldn't give me any medicine. They couldn't give me any medicine because I had been unconscious for a long time. I had been out and they couldn't give me anything for at least 24 hours. Couldn't give me any pain medication. So I was in excruciating pain. And then when they finally could come in the next day, give me medicine, I was calm. They started talking to me about my right kidney. The doctor asked me, he said, "What happened to your right kidney?" He said, the kidney is very small. It's shriveled up. It's very small. And he asked me what happened to the right kidney. I said I had surgery on it in 9th grade. He said, "What surgery did they perform?" I said, "Well, I know that they put a stent." And they put a stent because they said it wasn't functioning properly and the stent would help it to function. He said, "Well, it's shriveled up and it's not functioning at all and look like it haven't been functioning for years." He said, now your left kidney has been crushed and it won't stop bleeding. So for about 3 days, for a few days, they brought me back and forth, but they was controlling the pain now with pain medication, of course. But I'm going back and forth. They're doing a lot of scans and x-rays to monitor this kidney, my left kidney. Because they really don't want to take the left kidney, as the doctor explained to me, because my right kidney didn't function at all. You can live with one kidney, but I didn't have one kidney at that time. I had a crushed kidney and I had a kidney that wasn't functioning at all. It was still there, it was small, but it wasn't functioning, hadn't been functioning for years. So for about a couple of days, for about 3 days, I kept going in every day. I was taking a scan. Every day I was taking a test and a scan to see what was going on with that kidney. So on the 3rd day, the doctor tells me that they're gonna have to perform surgery because the kidney won't stop bleeding. There's like, it just won't stop bleeding. We're gonna have to perform surgery on that left kidney and remove it. So the next morning, early that morning, they get me up to perform the surgery. They bring me into the room and they do another x-ray, another CT scan to see how they're going to perform the surgery, or whatever scan they did at this time, to see how they're going to perform the surgery. So at that time, they took the test. They didn't take the test. The doctor didn't take the test. They just put in the order. So the people came in, the techs or whatever brought me in to take the test and rolled me back to my room. So when the doctors came in, they was like, "Well, good news. Your left kidney have stopped bleeding and has already started trying to repair itself," which was great news for me. And it's like God had answered my prayers because, I was in my early 20s. I had young kids. What was I going to do with no kidney? So what was I going to do at 20 years old with no kidney? So anyway, needless to say, my kidney has started back trying to repair itself. So they end up moving me out of ICU, like maybe some days later, and put me in a regular room. And I stayed in the hospital for maybe another 7 days or so. And then they released me to go home. But going home, my kidney still had a blood clot around it, but it wasn't bleeding anymore, but they still had the blood clot that was around it. So the doctors gave me medicine to break up the blood clot and things like that while I'm at home. So that was good and things like that. The kidney has, I wasn't having any more problems with the kidney. Fast forward to 5 years later. 5 years later, I moved to Atlanta, and well, before I moved to Atlanta, I wasn't doing everything. I didn't have the information and the knowledge to do everything I needed to do, as in eating right and all of this type of thing. Growing up, I always knew leafy greens was good for me, and I shouldn't drink dark sodas, but I could have Sprite or 7-Up, and things like that. The doctor always told, the kidney specialist always told me about those things, which, as we know, anytime there's a problem, it always goes back to the diet and the things that we're eating and the things we're putting in the body, because our kidney is our filtration system, right? That's how we filter out waste and different things and toxins from the body, is our kidney. Our kidney is our filtration system. And if our kidneys is not functioning properly, it can't filter like it needs to, right? So, I know to eat leafy greens. I know I could drink soda. I could still drink soda and things like that. But, I knew not to drink Coca-Cola. And from experience, when I would drink Coca-Cola, I would instantly have complications with my kidney, as in pain in the kidneys and things like that. So now I'm taking a different journey. When I moved to Atlanta in 2006, I go to the doctor. I go to the doctor for a regular checkup, and she tells me my blood pressure is high and she's ready to put me on medication. She's like, your blood pressure is really high, and she had prescribed the medication. And I was like, wait, no. I don't really do medication. And she was like, you only have one kidney, and I'm really concerned about that one kidney and you having high blood pressure. And I told her, just give me an opportunity to fix the problem. Let me see if I can lower my blood pressure on my own. So I started doing my own research. And the first thing I did was I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating meat for a year. I didn't eat any meats. I did fruits and vegetables, and I did rice and all these different things, potatoes and all these different things, because it's not like I was trying to be vegan or vegetarian. I was just I knew sodium was a problem for the kidney, and I knew that the kidneys was, the problems that I was having with the kidney. So I was trying to eliminate things that would cause the kidney to work hard, right? So I stopped eating meat, which I brought my blood pressure down. I stopped eating meat. And I just started eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that. But I still wasn't, doing everything right, because I did not know. I did not have the knowledge. And that's another thing. Growing up in Louisiana, we have some of the best foods, right? And the food is so good. But the reason the food is so good, because it's so unhealthy. It's just not healthy, and that's just what it is. It's not healthy, but it tastes so good. But for me, growing up that way and growing up with a great family of cooks, I had to learn how to become, I was a lover of food, and I had to learn to not be a lover of food, right? I had to learn how to eat food to live and not live to eat. So I just started trying different things. I started doing a lot of research, and I took this journey of started learning about herbs. And I don't even know really what triggered me to, I do know. So at the time I was living in Gwinnett County, and they used to have this vitamin store that was like right close to me, walking distance to my home. And they had a older Asian lady in there, and every time I would go in there, she was reading books. And she was reading books about vitamins and different things. And that's where it started. It started with the vitamins. And then from the vitamins, I started studying other things, and it began with the herbs. Then I started going to the herbs and learning about herbs. And so I started trying herbs. I started studying herbs that filters the system, that filters the kidneys and things like that. And so the herbs that I started taking was burdock root, dandelion, needle leaf, marshmallow root. And I love studying herbs, right? And I love studying and understanding what herbs do for the body. and different things like that. And so now I'm doing herbs because I'm trying to do a preventative, right? I don't want to have problems with my kidneys. I'm trying to filter my kidneys and doing different things to my body because as I told you, I had high blood pressure and things like that. So I started trying to do different things to my body and study different things and trying to understand what can I do, because I didn't want to be on medication. I saw my grandmother on all this medication and I didn't want that to be my story. I didn't want that to be my life. And my grandmother ended up dying of kidney failure. That's what happened to her. She was on dialysis for a long time. Then she ended up dying of kidney failure. So for me, I didn't want that to be me, right? And I knew that I have to be very careful because mostly everything you take over the counter and prescription drugs, it either go through the kidney or the liver. So for me, I just wanted to be very careful, and I wanted to be very careful, and I wanted to do something that was natural for my body, right? And that's just me just learning, right? Just studying, learning, and wanting something different. And so I just started studying these different herbs, and I would buy a lot of vitamins, a lot of herbs and things like that. And then I started learning that just because it's supposed to be good on the shelf doesn't mean that it is, because the herbs and things, different things, pills, vitamins, everything, it has so many fillers. And you have to be careful of those other ingredients to see what you're actually putting into your body. So I even took it further. I started creating my own my own capsules. I was drinking teas, I was creating capsules, and I was doing different things. So this was 2000, I would say around 2008. That's when I really started getting into herbs, and I really started studying. And like I said, I didn't eat meat for 1 year, but then I did start eating chicken again, right? I did start eating chicken, turkey, and lamb. And and seafood. So then over the years, I just started cutting back, right? I started doing things like cutting out meat, but maybe doing it twice a week and things like that. Then I started cutting back and doing it once a week. And then I started cutting back, doing it twice a month and things like that. But then I had a lot of ups and downs, to be honest. Like when you're on this journey, you have to find what works for you when you're trying to do a lifestyle change, right? Because using herbs and trying to use herbs is preventative. So you can't use herbs and then just eat what you want and do what you want and expect it to work, because then you're going to think it never worked, right? So, and anytime you go to the doctor is always going to tell you, the first thing the doctor tells you when you have complications or any type of complication, medical problems, it normally goes back to your diet, right? So that's what I'm telling you. It has to be a lifestyle change. You have to change the food. You have to change the things that you're eating. And it can't just be for the now, till I get better, till I test, and now my blood pressure is better, and now I don't have this anymore, so now I can go back to that. No, it has to be a lifestyle change. So for me, I learned that, right? But I did have a lot of times where I was backsliding and I was going back. But then I just started changing and changing and changing and changing. I just started wanting more and more. And I just started noticing the energy from my body. And I started doing intermittent fasting, because it gives you eat 8 hours. For me, I would eat 8 hours of the day. Then I would let my organs rest 16 hours a day. My body rest and digest the things that I ate within those 8 hours. So for me, it was very important. And I've been doing that for years. I still do it. I've been doing it for over a decade. I've been doing it a long time, eating 8 hours a day, letting my body rest 16 hours of the day, which helps your organs, helps your kidneys, and helps your liver to not work so hard, right? And so on this journey, we fast forward to now. I'm eating healthy. I'm learning about herbs. I'm making my own capsules. I'm drinking teas. I'm talking about, I mix stuff. I'm learning, I'm testing it on myself, right? I'm testing, like, putting burdock root together, needle leaf, and marshmallow root, and putting all the diuretics together to see how it make me feel, how it, learning about my body, paying attention to my body, paying attention to the different things of how my body reacts to different things and everything like that. So I would notice that it was really removing the tox, really removing the fluid. When I would put my fingers like this, even right now, I could feel no puffiness. I can almost feel like bone to bone. So that tells me that I don't have the fluid, right? I don't have the fluid, which is I don't want the fluid. I don't want the fluid. I don't want the inflammation and things like that, which your burdock root, your marshmallow root, your needle leaf, your dandelion, all diuretics, right? So they're gonna flush out the fluid, they're gonna flush out the toxins and different things like that. They anti-inflammatories, which is really good for the kidneys, for the function of the kidneys. It's so very helpful. And you're gonna learn as I talk about herbs that I use a lot of the same herbs for different things, because that's how it works. And I even kind of figured out how some herbs work by feeling like, wait, when I take this herb, it does this, but I was taking it for this, but I'm realizing it does this for my body. Then I start doing my research and figuring out, does it do this for the body, and learning, yes, it does, right? So I just love herbs so much, and I'm talking about it and I'm trying to share because I didn't know. No one told me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't study herbs growing up. I didn't take herbs growing up, ginger, ginger for the kidney, for the body, beetroot, how that all works so well for the body. Eating berries, the things that you eat, the leafy greens, all the berries. Berries are so good for you, have so many antioxidants, just things like that, and how antioxidants are so good for the body and the things that it does for the body. So learning about the herbs, I wanted to share with you all. I wanted to share with you all about herbs and how it can help your body, right? Now, if you're on prescription drugs, or even before taking herbs, you always want to consult your doctor. If you don't have a family, or if you don't have a doctor and you're a naturopath, then there's naturopath doctors out there as well. But if you're on medication, you definitely don't want to take anything until you find out, because sometimes it affects, like some things may lower blood pressure, and if you're already taking blood pressure medication, it may make it too low. So I'm just saying that to say, these herbs are good, and they're really good to use. It's very important to be knowledgeable about it. Like I said, I've been studying herbs since 2007. It's 2025. I've been studying for a very long time. I'm always trying to learn something about a new herb and what it does for the body and how I can use it for the body. But let's fast forward to, I had the car accident like in 2000. We fast forward to, and the blood pressure was up in 2006, and I brought it back down. And then let's go to 2022. 2022, I was having other complications with fibroids, and I had already started studying herbs to shrink the fibroids and to get rid of the fibroids on my own naturally. And I go somewhere for 2 weeks, and I leave. I forget my herbs at home, the capsules that I had created for myself. I left the capsules at home that I had created to shrink the fibroids. And so I didn't have the herbs for 2 to 3 weeks, and I didn't have the capsules that I had created, and I was in excruciating pain. I mean, when I tell you excruciating pain. So I said, when I get back to Georgia, then I get back to Atlanta, I'm going to see a doctor for these fibroids. I'm going to have them removed. Now, I'm a person that's not want to go to the doctor, right? Don't really believe in it, not trying to go to the doctor unless something is majorly wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I do try to be very healthy and health conscious. So fast forward, I'm in excruciating pain. I said, when I get back to Atlanta, I'm going to see a doctor to remove these fibroids. They are not shrinking. So I thought. But come to find out, the fibroids were shrinking, and a lot of them had already been removed, but the ones that hadn't been removed was causing havoc. So I go to this doctor in Atlanta, this fibroid specialist, to shrink the fibroids, and he tells me, well, you didn't tell me that you had polycystic kidney disease. I say, well, I didn't know that I had polycystic kidney disease. So he's like, yeah, so I can't remove fibroids because you have polycystic kidney disease. So I'm like, what? So now I'm freaking out, right? I don't know what polycystic kidney disease is. But I know that now I have a disease of the kidney, but I already know there's an issue with the kidney. So I'm thinking, what didn't happen, right? Because I don't know what polycystic kidney disease is. So I get home instantly, start doing my research. And I'm joining all these Facebook groups. I'm listening to people talk about it. I'm researching online. I'm just here doing everything you can think of, right, to learn more about this polycystic kidney disease. And the more I studied, the more I learned that this is something that's hereditary and I'm born with, and from birth that you have it, or very early on in life that you have it, right? So I'm like, how can I have this? Why would it just show up now? And I don't know no one in my family that has that. I never even heard of it. So I go to a kidney specialist. I make an appointment to go to a kidney specialist in Georgia. And by the time he was able to see me, I tell him, I say, this doctor diagnosed me, this fibroid doctor, specialist, he diagnosed me with polycystic kidney disease. I said, but from my research, polycystic kidney disease is something that you have to have, that of very young. And I'm not young at this age, at this point. I'm not young at all. I'm in 40s at this point. And I'm like, how would I just never knew I had that? And people like, from my research, that's not something you have that you just don't know. So the doctor does the testing. He tests my kidneys. I had to do all this stuff. I had to take urine for 24 hours, bring this bucket back and all these different things. He had to run these tests. And the only instructions that I had at that time was don't take anything over the counter. No type of medications over the counter, nothing. Don't take anything, right? Don't take anything until we see what's going on with your kidney, until we get the results back and see what's going on with your kidneys. So I started telling him that I don't think it's polycystic kidney disease. This other fibroid doctor diagnosed me with polycystic kidney disease, but I just don't believe that is anyway. So when he comes in, he calls me back for a follow-up from my from the x-rays and the different things that he done. And he said, you don't have polycystic kidney disease, you're right. And he said, and you're right, it will be something that you have to know about from a child. He said, but what's going on is your fibroids are so big that it's causing your left kidney is causing damage on your left kidney. It's so big, it's causing a block in the uterus. So he was like, are you going, when you go to the restroom, are you fully using the restroom? Because are you fully, when you're urinating, is everything coming out? And I was like, yeah, from what I can tell. He was like, but the fibroid is so big that it's causing a block and causing damage to that left kidney. Now, let's talk about it. The only thing I know is right now, at this moment, when he's telling me this, the left kidney is all I have, right? So that's when I'm like, oh my God. So I find this this fibroid specialist. And so he was like, yeah, so I would suggest, well, first he told me I would suggest removing those fibroids as soon as possible. He said they're very big and you need to remove them as soon as possible. So I started doing my research in Atlanta, trying to find the best surgeon for the job. And I found this lady that absolutely, she had high reviews. She had won all kind of rewards as the best fibroid specialist in Atlanta. And so I go to her. Well, first of all, I couldn't get in there. And they told me that you probably can't get in there. If you can't get in, we can perform a temporary relief. We can perform a temporary, temporary relief for putting a stent. And at this point, I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing because I don't know what really caused that right kidney to not function at all no more. So at this point, I don't really want nothing. And not to mention, I'm more on the natural path journey. So I'm not trying to take anything or have anything extra, right? So I'm definitely like in my prayer closet and praying and hoping that, and just praying that this doctor will see me for these fibroids. So she didn't have days like she'd be super busy. She's always booked up. Sometimes it takes 3 months to get in there. So I'm praying and I contact and I tell them my story and how it's causing damage on my kidney to the it wasn't a doctor, it was like the nurse or whatever. And so the doctor couldn't see me. She didn't have any space in the schedule for me to go to the office, but she made space for us to have a phone, like over like a FaceTime appointment or whatever, for us to talk about it and talk about the kidney. And for me to, so when we have this appointment, I tell her everything that's going on. I tell her what the doctors have told me about it's causing damage in my left kidney. She asked me to send her over the MRI. She asked me for all the paperwork from all the doctors. I get it to her office and she performs immediate surgery on me like 2 weeks later. Well, first I had to run all the tests, get everything cleared, make sure I could go to my doctor, make sure my blood pressure, everything was good, and things like that. So I go and have this surgery like 2 weeks later. I mean, this lady was phenomenal, right? As in getting me in, just, you know, and she had a great team. It was her and her assistant was a female as well. I mean, just phenomenal. But anyway, so I go in and I have this surgery, and she tells me, and she did a video, she was like, you said that your right kidney wasn't functioning. She said, but it is functioning. She said, it's small, but it's absolutely functioning. Your kidneys are fine. It brought tears to my eyes, because in that moment, I knew that everything I had been doing for my kidneys was working, you know? Because you put in so much work. For me, I was putting in so much work because I want a good quality of life, right? I don't want to just live and exist in this world on medications, and I can't do anything because I'm so broken internally from my body being broken, right? So for me, you know, I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I try to eat healthy. I don't drink soda. I only drink water. You come to my house, I have 4 different waters. I have Topo Chico, Pellegrino. I have different types of water, spring water, alkaline water, regular water. I just, you know, I'm gonna be able to offer you any type of water, but that's all I have in my house. That's all I keep in my house, right? So I'm just saying that to say, I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I make a lot of sacrifices. I don't drink soda. I only drink water. Every now and again when I'm on vacation, I may have something like a special something. Like when I go to Dubai, they have this mint drink that I like, this mint lemonade drink that I like, and I'll drink that. But other than that, you know, it's water for me, mostly for me. I don't drink a lot. Other than that, I'm doing juices. Like if I'm drinking anything, it's like a green juice or like some fresh juice like ginger or parsley or something like that. But what I've learned is if you put in the work and you take care of your body and you take care of your organs and you take care of your kidneys, you can restore your kidney, right? And I'm going to tell you that please always see your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. And I'm only telling you what happened for me. And I'm telling you that I know that it worked for me. I'm telling you that I know that it worked because I used it, right? I used the herbs. I did it on me. But with that, I was eating fruits and vegetables and things. I was eating berries. Berries is so good for you. I drink the green tea. And I remember my friends would fly into Atlanta, and they would say, I don't know how you drink that. Because, you know, I'm drinking fresh ginger. I'm juicing some fresh ginger and throwing a little cayenne pepper in there and tossing it back, a shot, 1 ounce shot. I'm drinking wheatgrass and throwing it up, and I'm doing all these things for my body. And my friends would always say, I don't know how you do it. And for me, I do it because I want to live a long life and I want to live a good quality of life, and that's very important to me. So I'm just sharing with you all that I know for a fact: burdock root, dandelion root, needle leaf, marshmallow root, and there's so many others. Those are the things that I was using at the time, but I've learned about so many others since then, because once I realized that I had got my kidneys back to working again from the capsules I had been creating and the teas I had been drinking. Listen, let me tell you something. When I tell you every time, a couple of times a week, I'm trying to learn about a new herb, I am always learning about herbs, always. And uva ursa is a new herb I learned about that I didn't know about back then for my kidney. Red clover, just different things that I wasn't yet taking that I didn't know that works for the kidneys, that get the kidneys back, that helps filter the kidneys and helps the kidneys to function properly. So I'm just saying that to say, listen, it can work. You can use these herbs to help with if you have problems with your kidney function. It can help, but it have to come along with eating the right foods, drinking the right drinks, doing the things that your body needs. I don't really eat rice like that, no white rice. I don't really eat white pasta. I don't really eat white bread. Every now and again, if I'm going to dinner, I'll do those things. I used to be a lover of bread. Growing up in Louisiana, we eat everything smothered. Smothered pork chop. I don't eat pork anymore. Now I don't eat meat anymore. But I used to be eating smothered pork chop, smothered chicken. You know what I'm saying? We ate everything smothered with rice. 3 times, I would eat rice 2 to 3 times a day, every day. I'm talking about A2 gumbos. Everything is with rice. And then when I didn't have rice, I was eating smothered potatoes, right? I love me some smothered potatoes with some scallions in there. Or guess what? Having pasta. We make a lot of pastas with seafood and sausage and things like that. So I was eating all of that. That's how I grew up eating, but I changed all of that. So when people say I can't do it, you choosing not to do it, right? And I'm not going to say everybody's story is different. And I will say, for me, it's hard for me to let go of sugar. Sugar is so bad, so bad. I've cut back tremendously, but I still want that. And I didn't elevate, right? So now I don't do cookies in the packages, and I'm a bakery type person. But them sweets, baby, okay? It's hard for me to cut that out. And I'm telling you, it's like it'd be calling my name. So things that I do is I don't even put it in my house, because I know if I put it in my house, I'm going to eat it, right? And when I get it in here, it's like, if I do have it in my house, I say, okay, let me buy me some cookies today, or okay, I'm telling you, it's not just eating one and knowing how to, okay, just eat one. No, I want the whole thing, okay? And it's just, so I know for me, I can't put that in my house when it comes to sugar. I could not eat meat, but the sugar is a problem, okay? So, everybody have their thing. So I'm not going to beat you over the head and tell you what you need to do or what you shouldn't do or this and that, because you got to do what's best for you. You know what works for you. You know what don't. And if you're really paying attention to your body will tell you what it don't like. Your body will tell you what's not working. I mean, I'm so in tune with my body that I could smell my body, the change. I could smell change in my body if I haven't been eating right. You understand what I'm saying? I can different things I know. Oh, let me tell you another thing I was taking. I forgot to tell y'all this. Cranberry pills. Because cranberry juice is good if you're going to drink the juice that has no sugar, which is really bad. But I will toss it down in a minute, right? But not everybody can do it. But there's also cranberry pills that is really good for the kidneys as well. That's another thing that I was always taking too. I was always taking that. So I'm just saying that to say, guys, there's things out there that if you don't want to take prescription drugs, or you don't take prescription drugs and you're trying to prevent and protect your organs, right? And you're trying to filter them, start now. You can filter your organs. You can do things by eating right and using herbs and drinking teas to help filter your body and get your kidneys, and filter your kidneys so your kidneys can have good function. But you have to be committed to it all. Not just the herbs, but also to the way you eat. But I just want to thank you all so much for watching. Please comment and subscribe below. Send this video to someone that you love that may have kidney problems or may have kidney damage, and that can take these herbs, right? They can take these herbs in addition to what they're already doing. But please make sure they talk to their doctor first. But because I'm telling you, these herbs are good, but you have to, these herbs are really good and they really work. But if you're taking medication, you have to find out if it's going to interact with what you're already taking, okay? But definitely do your research, study. There's things out there, for me, like I said, and you're going to find a lot of capsules out there. You're going to find a lot of capsules, but you have to know. Always look at those other ingredients to see what they're putting in those capsules, right? And I didn't like it. I didn't like that they had ingredients that I did not know I didn't know. I couldn't say the word. I didn't know what it meant. And when I looked it up, it didn't sound good to me. So I started creating my own capsules. When I travel and things like that, I take my own capsules with me. When I travel for work sometimes, and All my coworkers know. I always have something. When they tell me something is hurting them, I have tea. I pack my teas. I have teas I share with them because I know what can help, you know, with different things. But just needless to say, do your research, pay attention, learn, eat healthy, take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.